Hello and welcome. I am going to give about a minute or so for folks to come in. Apologies for running late, but had to go get a walk before I started to sweat and move energy. You know the deal. As you come in, announce yourself, tell us your name, where you're joining from, what beverage you are sipping on. Don't be a weird looky-loo right now. Today is the day for that. I'm having some coffee, cafe au lait, with almond extract for a little pizzazz. Welcome to folks coming in on IG. As usual, at least recently, I am streaming both on IG as well as YouTube. I do recommend, though, if you're on IG and you want to have a better experience, watch the recording on YouTube, because you can also, later on, I'll put in timestamps for the different things I'm going to be talking about, and it's much easier to navigate, whereas IG does not allow you to do so. YouTube folks joining from North Carolina with Claire, welcome. About to drink water and eat Dominican food. Nice. We got April in Florida drinking water. Awesome. Got my water too. Everybody, please do me a favor, like the video or love it, heart it, depending on what platform you're on. Please also share this with folks in your networks. Either, if you're on IG, you can share to friends list, or what have you, or post, but that helps to spread this in the ecosystem. I'm not planning to be here for a long time. One, because I have something to do, and also, this isn't going to be a message today of holding emotional space and making everybody feel better. I'm not in that mood. I'm sure you can already feel. I'm sure you can already feel. I'm sure you can already tell. Jeanette is on today. Jeanette is on one today. So this is going to be another one of those messages. But it is going to be very specifically about war tactics. So this is War Council today. If you're not in that space to really engage, I totally understand. Right. Thank you. If you're not in that space, I get it, I totally understand. Do what you need to do to continue to feel and process your emotions. I still invite you to stay in the space so you at least get the initial messages, and then still obviously go back and watch the recording for specifics. But this is where we are now. I promised I would come in for Oracle Talk, so I'm here. But yeah, we're going to be discussing war tactics for folks, and this is going to be specifically light worker things. So for simplicity, again, because I'm not going to be here long, this is going to be way shower, healer, and transformer types. So you should know, if you've been following me for a while. Oh, hi Aisha, welcome. If you've been following me for a while, you should know, light worker role on Earth is one of those three types. If you have forgotten or don't know, please go reference that previous YouTube video where I explained how to discover that. I've already discussed, so catch up, please. I'm not hand-holding today, all right? So whatever you don't know, please trust and believe I have already given it that information somewhere. It's either on the blog, where I probably already linked something, or it's in a previous Oracle Talks in the description, okay? But I'm not doing the hand-holding today. But this is going to be messages for way showers, healers, lightworkers will be focused on that. Again, the time, but also simplicity of the messages. We're going to be talking about tactics for both defense and offense for this next stage. Because to be clear, based on how things panned out for this choice point, if you will, that we just passed, we are in for a very tough ride for probably, realistically, the next 50 years. I'm just going to be honest. Once votes are certified, this man gets put into office. He has made it clear that he is not leaving. He is not leaving in 4 years. And even if he goes, they are not going, because they have successfully outmaneuvered politically, economically, and physically to be in position of power. I've already touched a little bit on my thoughts on the physical stuff. So if you have not seen that, I invite you to simply just check out the Instagram post that I put up. Folks on YouTube, just go to my Instagram page. I do have a post about my post-election thoughts. So check it out. I'm not gonna repeat that. And to be honest, for us, when it comes to the physical world things, there's not really, honestly, going to be much different that we do in terms of how we show up. Because I mean, pretty much for the most part, for the most part, everybody who follows me is on the left politically. So, you don't have to go build community. You're probably already in community. You already know, you understand the things. So there's nothing what's up. How you need to for yourself or community. The considerations you need to have for your personal safety, what you might want to do long term. You are grown. You know what you were doing. You've always known what you were doing. So you keep on with that. Okay? I'm not going to or talk about bigger physical things to do, not because I don't have thoughts and opinions about that. I do. But I'm specifically choosing to fill a very specific gap in the spiritual community that is not sitting in the space of war strategy. And for what I see in general, not everybody, obviously, but what I see in general is a lot of bypassing and a lot of not calling the thing a thing, and a lot of not giving tactics and practical advice and guidance and options, when you take it or not, but at least options for where you can craft your own strategy and be part of a bigger collective work. And I can say without a doubt that there really is no, I shouldn't say no, there's as much disorganization and lack of good strategy in the physical on the left matches that in the spirit for those in the light. I feel the yes in the spirit. I feel the amen. I know, I just felt that, okay? It matches. These two things don't operate without influence and separation from one another. So, as I've already mentioned and ranted about the past couple of weeks ago in Orthodox, about folks not stepping up in their power, that was not just directed to us, obviously needing to step up into our power, reclaim our soul sovereignty, be working more and more with our ancestors and getting more involved in that way. It also was, as I was calling out in that Oracle Docs, a affirmation and a calling out of behavior of some in the ancestral realm, some in the angelic realm, etc., not showing up the way they need to show up. So we've been having a conversation, okay? Now, while we did recently have a very important win against that beast energy, as referenced in the Christian tradition, I'm not saying that's really what it is for other faiths. There's probably other names for it. But for that energy specifically, that was non-earth based, that was fucking up. our natural processes for our, essentially our ancestry, folks in the spirit who passed and who should be able to continue to move on and up, that being obstructed, that particular group of folks, those black dragons, have been dealt with. That operation was successful. And I relayed that in the most recent newsletter that I sent out. If you're not on my newsletter list, sign up. So that was important. That got handled on the new moon in Scorpio that we just had last week, as of this report, as of this live stream. Okay, so that was successful. That was a really, really important one, and freed up a lot of ancestral energy for support. And you, a lot of you, maybe actually all, but a lot of you should have felt a shift and a difference in the ancestral realm, in the astral realm, because of that. Okay, but those were off-world niggas. They were not operating independently. Okay. Only reason outside stuff can get in and stay in is because it's allowed and or invited. And I say and or, okay, because the invitation is by folks who are specifically malevolent, and the allowance is by folks who are trying to do the central game, trying to do the can't we all be friends game, trying to do the like, oh, I don't want to step up into more power, i.e. more responsibility game. We already know my thoughts about that. Okay, welcome to folks coming in. Thank you for saying hi. Again, as you come in, please say where you're joining from, what beverage you might be sipping on, etc. So to check in first, are we clear about where we are? Are we clear about this is a war, not a simple conflict. This is not you dealing with family members you don't like who are annoying. This is not you dealing with HR at work. Okay, like that. Those are conflicts. Those are scuffles, right? Those are fights that have been successful in distracting collectively group work, group strategy. That can't fly anymore. Okay, it can't. And it won't, especially with like me around, because we're gonna call a thing at the very least. All right, so I am gonna get a card to anchor the energy, and we're gonna get messages for these three groups. These next steps are going to be specifically targeted towards self, ancestors, personal guardian angels, and protectors. And that's going to be for each group: way shower, healer, transformer. Okay? And it's going to be both defense, offense messages that are coming through. The defense messages are going to be centered on two things. Oh, actually, before I even get into that a little bit more deeply, this is strictly human soul stuff. This is not nature kingdom stuff. This is not star race or other planetary stuff. No. This is, we need to clean house. So we're not going to distract ourselves or use other folks, other beings as scapegoats to do the work that we need to be doing with ourselves. No disrespect to the nature kingdom, because we love the nature kingdom. But why the birds got to come in and help you deal with you and a trifling cousin in the spirit? Like, why can't you handle that? Why is a star race on the other side of the galaxy having to come in and try to help you with some foolishness, an ancestor somewhere? What we're not about to do is act like there are no good people in our family. We're not going to act like we don't have guardian angels and protectors. We're not going to tell this lie today. Not in my face. Like we're not doing it today. Okay. Are we clear? Because why I'm in a mood today, besides really not being happy about the fact that we are about to be officially, when this man is inaugurated, Nazi America, and I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this. I'm frustrated, annoyed, and angry about this continual, because it's still coming up, because I'm still having to talk about it. Weaponized incompetence and weaponized weakness when it comes to who you are and whose you are. I'm sick of it. At what point are you going to decide, not choose, but decide that you are not going to get punked out of your position? At what point are you going to decide, not choose, that you want to be here and you want to live here? At what point are you going to decide, not choose, decide that your direct relationship with God, source, spirit is first and the foundation of everything? And everyone and everything, I don't care how good or bad it is secondary to it. At what point, y'all? All of us who are here incarnate are very powerful beings. We literally straddle the two worlds. I know we talk about this in a really comfortable, like mundane way, as if like it's kind of somewhat normal within our circle, but like please understand how like special and beautiful and like amazing that is. Like you have awareness and the ability to communicate between realms, the physical realm and the non-physical realm. Everybody ain't here. Everybody's not incarnate. Some folks have incarnated, right? Like they have that experience. Those are our genetic ancestors. We do have ancestors who have not incarnated and they just stay in the spirit. They're more of our heavenly mates. That genetic connection isn't necessarily there. They're still family though. The weaponized incompetence and the weaponized weakness I invite you, please, to check yourself, because we all have it, myself included. These words are not for y'all with me excluded. Okay? I invite you to check yourself where you are weaponizing incompetence and weaponizing weakness in how you show up, not only in your life, but also how you show up in the spirit. And all the critiques, the frustration, the anger about, well, why don't they do this? Why don't they show up this way? Like, oh, if I my opinion is they should do this, this, and this. Great. How is that showing up in your life, both in the physical and in the spirit? Do you have political power? And of that political power you have, are you actually leveraging it? Do you have economic or resource power? And for what you do have in that, how are you leveraging it and strategizing to have more? Not just for the sake for having more, but for a greater purpose? Do you have physical power? And of the physical power that you have, physical power would be, numbers of people, how large the group is, the actual tools you have, arms you have in the physical, as well as in the spirit. Are you leveraging that? And I know across the board, it is not yes for all three. Real talk, for half of you, it's not even one of the three. For the other half, it's either one or two. Nobody has all three collectively. And I know that's the case because we are where we are right now. Because there's no way that the folks in the light, regardless of how they call themselves, regardless of their indigenous tradition, I don't care. Okay, like this is why I'm saying, like, politically here on in the just the left overall, because folks like to be into this like dem third party bullshit. Like none of y'all, nobody is. The results are not resulting. Okay, the results are not resulting. This was a big loss, and there has to be a very honest assessment. If the left, if the light was really showing up the way it needed to be, the way it actually is embodied and able to be, we would not be here. And this is collective work. This is not for a figurehead leader to do. This passing off, again, weaponized weakness, weaponized incompetence. I don't want to. You can have all the help available you want with the archangels, with the star races, none of that can penetrate, because in the light, the law of consent is still involved. I'm gonna say that one more time, because that, folks, please. If you're in the light, the law of consent still necessarily is involved. The dark does not follow the law of consent. They parasitize, they oppress, they take energy. They don't give a fuck if you agree with them or not. They just take. That's not how the light works. The help is available. You need to stand in the gap. The roots, the local, the blue collar folks, right? Because folks want to be obsessed with like, oh, I'm this, this, and this. You can't even stand in the gap for your family consistently. You run from your family. That's a short-term tactic to regroup, gain strength. You're not supposed to stay gone. The fuck? As hard as some of y'all ancestors worked and continue to work, building you up, helping you get your money, helping you get relationship, helping you get yourself together, as much as you be in ritual and like put all that, helping you heal, re-strengthen. And you're telling me the evil in your family is that great? The malevolent ancestors in your family are that great that they outnumber all the beneficial ancestors? They outnumber all the good folks? Because I can guarantee you, if we really sat down and looked at it, you're letting yourself be distracted or fooled by people who are followers, the neutral folks, and thinking they're the same as the actual instigator, the actual one who is consciously the root of the issue. And it's either one person or like a little group of like 2 or 3 people or whoever. Okay. I'm not the one though. And if, in particular, if you're of African descent, you're definitely not the one. Let me get to this guidance. Jesus. Are we clear, y'all? We are going, this is my prayer for you. Oh, and side note, I will be creating a new prayer, or adding prayers to some of what I have. I'll update you. There'll be new prayers coming out specifically for dealing with dark magic stuff. But not right now. So these tactics, like I said, is going to be for each of the Lightworker groups: Wayshowers, Healers, and Transformers. 3 areas. 2 of those areas regarding defense, 1 regarding offense. The 2 defense things are related to strengthening oneself, or just strengthening in general. Welcome to folks coming in on YouTube. Apologies, I haven't been saying so. We got South Carolina nice with the green, with the ginger tea, welcome. And then Colorado with coffee, welcome. Also, welcome to folks who are joining on IG. Apologies, I haven't been saying hi. I'm joining from California with some coffee, which is now cold because I've been ranting. Actually, no, I've been ranting. I've been clearly giving an assessment of like what these dynamics are, because I know that this conversation is not happening, and that frustrates me. And I'm saying specifically within the spiritual industry, it's not happening, and I'm not here for it. And that is a call out to folks who sit in spiritual leadership. Like, yes, take care of yourself. Yes, take care of community. But everything can't be our only tactic is self-preservation. You don't win a war. You don't make progress. We can't use self-preservation tactics in terms of like emotional mental well-being considerations at scale for winning a war. That's not how this works. Okay. And none of this is binary. None of this is, you have to do one or the other. It is always both and. But the both, the and, the other parts, that's not happening in the spirit. It's not. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. And please share with me those folks who are having those conversations. I know some are out there, but at a larger scale, for all the folks that are, listen, okay. So first tactic is going to be about strengthening energetically. I stay with y'all about your own energy field, your chakras, the different layers of your aura. Strengthening that has to happen. It needs to happen consistently. And I know it does not. So strengthening self, which includes also talking about strengthening the ancestors and strengthening your personal guardian angels and protectors. Then we're going to get into specific tactics for increasing strength through numbers. Those are the defensive tactics. And then offense is going to be specifically about reducing or completely eliminating supply that the enemy has access to, both in self, in the ancestry, and with our guardian angels and protectors. Okay? And then we're also going to hold space for and receive messages from the Great Mystery, which is going to be regarding that which is unknown, that is available for us to know at this time, and to also be able to use as a tactic, whatever that is going to be. So get a drink of water, settle in, call in your higher self, ask it to merge with your consciousness, subconsciousness, and unconsciousness. Call in your related beneficial ancestors, because you have them. Whether you know them by name or not is irrelevant. You're not going to know all them by name because there's too many. Call in your personal guardian angels and protectors. Even if it is just one, whether you have a name for them or not is irrelevant. Free yourself from weaponized weakness and weaponized incompetence, please, and thank you. Greatly appreciated. Can you tell I don't like being on a losing team? Can you tell I don't like losing? Can you tell I'm someone who likes to win? The intention is not to hurt feelings or make people feel weird or bad, but when I tell you, I really, truly do not care right now because of how seriousness things are right now. Because of how serious things are right now. This is not that message today. Okay. All right. So let me get these cards out now that I have the root energy here. We're going to get these messages. If you have trouble with your clairs, that is an indication to you that you should be working on your energy body. You have many tools available to help you with that. And prayer is a tool. Talking directly to the Holy Spirit is a tool. This is your voice and your breath is enough as well. So don't think that just because you might not have such crystal or, you know, energy healing technique or whatever, that you can't do what you need to do. That is false. That is weaponized weakness and incompetence. There's no excuses right now. None. Welcome to folks coming in here on IG. Thank you for joining. As you come in, please say hello. Let us know where you're joining from. If you'd like to share whatever beverage you're sipping on, be great. Welcome to folks joining on YouTube as well. One last card, please. Anything, questions, comments, concerns before we jump in, because the cards are out. Anything before we jump in? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So I'm going to do all the self topics first. And then we'll go to ancestry and then guardian angels and protectors. Okay, so as this is, again, work in the spirit for the self or the soul. As it relates to strengthening yourself, for those who are way showers specifically, we have the 10 of Swords for you. Okay, so this is actually feeling like, let me actually confirm before I say that, yeah. Okay. So this is saying that you have, welcome to folks coming in, say hello to the community. Way showers, you've actually done you've come out on the other side of some clearing, whatever that clearing has been, a release of things. In order to continue that strengthening, it's important to continue the release of the residual energy, because that does just take time, okay? And allow also, if you feel like that part, well, it's not complete, continue to do the release work from work that has already been accomplished, but again, the residual still needs to time to clear, and be working with energy to repair your energy field wherever there needs to be repairing occurring. Okay. Yes, of course, there may, and this is for everybody, if you're wish or not. Obviously, there's many things going on, but this is like what I'm giving are messages that are most important, and they're actually going to be most effective of moving things forward in this regard of building strength. Okay. So continue to do that work of release, which should already be in place, and add in proactively repair work energetically. Okay. And you probably already know where in your field, what chakras or whatever you need to be working on. If you don't, check in with your team, check in with the Holy Spirit, get the specifics. We're not just out here like, oh, just heal. No, be specific, please. Okay. Stop weaponizing incompetence. Stop weaponizing this, because you're not actually weak. So that's what y'all need to do, way showers. Okay. Release and repair. For healers, sustainers, folks, to strengthen yourself, we have the sun. You need to refill the well. So the word for you, to make this simple, is restore. So that may be charging up, sending chi energy, using whatever you have, calling in the power of the Holy Spirit. I don't care what you do. Okay, you do what you're called to do. But refill, restore, charge up your chakras. If you already know and work with the different layers of your aura, you also need to charge up, fill the well of the different layers of your aura. That is the primary thing that folks who are sustainers need to do to build their soul strength. Okay. Transformers. You have 5 pentacles. Y'all have something in your energy fields that needs to be addressed. Let me see what this is related to. What is this? So it's a negative thing that needs to be removed. Just don't know what it is yet. So that's what I'm figuring out in general. Okay, so there is imbalance in your energy fields. As you go through the process of like checking through your energy field, again, chakras and or the different layers of your aura, depending on what you know and are aware of, what you do, the nature of whatever the issue is will be brought to light with you, and you'll have to develop a tactic and strategy to deal with that. But regardless, or in the process of dealing with that and removing it, whatever it is, okay, your energy field is stable and it needs to get shored up. It is imbalanced. But it's imbalanced because of whatever the thing is that's there, or things are. It's not feeling like just a weak chakra or something. But whatever that thing is has to be addressed before you can even like make progress on getting to a place of strengthening and repair and all of that. So whatever that is has to be addressed, and it is something that is there. It's something that is there that is not of your own making, for clarity. I'll say it that way. Welcome to people coming in on IG. Thank you for joining. Please say hello to everybody else who is also in the space. As you come in, please also like the video. For everybody, whether you're coming on YouTube or on IG, please like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, become a follower. What is unknown that is available to be known, and this is for all of us, regardless of how you describe yourself as a light worker, way shower, healer, or a transformer. We have the Two of Swords. Oh, this is very clearly giving me Holy Spirit energy right now. So the Holy Spirit is there to relay what you need, and whatever is the next best step as it relates to this work of strengthening the self is there and available to you. You don't have to worry about steps 4, 5, 6, or whatever. Like, just worry about what is here for you to do. And whatever it is, the next step that is needed for the work that you are doing will be made available, okay? So stop stressing yourself trying to like know the full path. It's not how this is gonna work. Own where you are and be in a relationship with the Holy Spirit, with God's source. And that is within. It's not a without thing, it's within, okay? It's something that you attain. It's not something you get initiated into. If you exist, you have the relationship. Okay, moving on. Well, any questions on that? Or even move on. For strengthening one's aura. One last thing I'll say with this mystery card, if anybody is typing in the comments with any questions or things. Your goal energetically, when you see or sense yourself in the spirit, because it might be more clear like when you're in dream time or whatever, it doesn't matter. Your goal is to get your wings, is to attain your angelhood. Not a crown, not a throne, not a mantle. The goal is to strengthen your soul, your human soul, to the point where you get your wings. That's a collective goal. Some folks have already done that. Great. You have more goals to go. Right? But this isn't even past like, but even if you've like done that, like, you still need to do this work, because the 7D and down is very specifically human soul stuff. And that's what we're talking about, human soul stuff, your energy body, okay? But the goal that you are striving towards in this journey, or this stage of the war, okay? Also in general, but for this stage in the war, your goal is to get your angel wings. And it's not something that you can mistake. It is very clear when it happens. Okay? Also, the same holds true for your ancestors, specifically the beneficial ones, the goal is to support them, excuse me, best as possible without overextending, till you see them get their angel wings. And yes, that is available for everyone. That is not specifically, their name is not specifically malevolent. Well, actually, that's not true, because you can still get wings and be malevolent, but we'll talk about it another day. Because there are dark angels, so which is part of the reason why, again, the mess in the realms, because folks in the lights are not showing up the way they need to combat folks in the dark who are at that same level. But discussion for another time, okay? So the goal is to get them there. You'll know they're on that path when however you see and interact with them. Usually people are seeing them in dream time. When you see them present, like the transition phase, you'll see them glowing, okay? You'll see them glowing, like the light pouring through them, like that kind of divine golden white light, like emanating from them. So before they get their wings, that's a stage that you go through in that process of elevation. So if, long-term goal is to get wings, but midterm goal is to get them elevated and energized and in their power, which really means more at home with themselves and deeper relationship with source and committed to their work and service. They're going to be glowing more. When you see them, when you feel them, that divine heavenly light is going to start emanating and showing through. And then eventually, yes, they will get their wings. But these are markers that you can see as an indication about where folks are. These are assessing markers. So you don't have to question where folks are. Even if they're really powerful in the astral dimension, okay? 6th dimension, 7th, like they need to be progressing. Because a lot of the foolishness should be able to be neutralized and dealt with just by their presence alone. And because we're dealing with dimensional and frequency things, these are aspects of power that we have available to us to leverage. Okay? So this is how you know. If you need to relay this to them, and actually this might be a good thing. When you are going back to watch this video, watch this with your ancestors. Obviously they're here now, they're getting it, but revisit, bring more of them in, bring the neutral ones in too, and be like, this is what we are doing. I'm not asking, I'm telling, because I'm the one that's here, incarnate, in between realms, standing in the gap, and doing this work for the family, at least for the branches that I know here in the physical and in the spirit. So this is what we're doing, because what has been happening is not it, because we see our results. Fuck our feelings. We deal with facts right now. And the facts are the results are not resulting. And we know better now, and we're going to do better now. And we are well resourced with heaven to do so. Nobody's out here on their own. Okay? Okay. Now that we've had that discussion, moving on to specifics with the ancestors. Way showers. I love y'all. I do. I really do. I'm taking this as well. Way showers. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm clear I haven't been doing all 3. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know I haven't been doing all 3 that I talked about earlier. So here we are. All right. Way showers, as it relates to work to do on your side in co-creating let me pull myself back. The strengthening of ancestors. Eight of Swords. So way showers, you know where the mess is now in the family, or you need to specifically address that. And you need to be in counsel with your ancestors to specifically address those areas of weakness. And this is more so it seems to be less about energetic work that they might need and also about proactively dealing with malevolent folks in the family. But let me confirm that or see if that actually is the case. Okay, so it's not that. What it is there's something that actually needing to be faced that folks are not wanting to face. And once whatever that thing is faced and is dealt with, they'll be able to move on and be able to strengthen in a way that they need to energetically. Okay, so again, and I believe this is going to be exclusively for beneficial or beneficial and neutral ancestors. We're not going to address malevolent ones right now. Okay, so this is specifically for beneficial because that's actually, thank you for the reminder. These are about what's going to have the biggest and the strongest effect. And yes, it's going to be with the beneficial ones and not worrying about the neutral right now. The beneficial ones, if they are in that process of there are things that they need to address in order to progress. And there needs to be an honest conversation about that. And maybe because you sitting with counsel and having conversations with them, it can be brought to light and be faced and dealt with, and you can help them move through it. And it's for everyone, including folks. It's for everyone, including folks who do have their angel wings, because there is, like I said, still more. We don't stop at the angel wings. So it's for everybody. And it's something that's been a long-standing issue within the family, but again, it's a specific work for the elevated beneficial ancestors. So y'all need to talk. Y'all need to move through some things. It needs to be addressed. Whatever it is, but it's impacting them energetically. Even if they already have their wings, there is still more. There's still something there, okay? For the healer folks, for the ancestors there, 5 of Cups. Okay, so this is emotional healing that needs to occur for the ancestry in order for them to progress. So there are still things on their heart. It might be old traumas and things that need to be addressed. But this is emotional healing work. For the way shores, it seems to be more so like something just needs to be brought to conscious awareness, and then like they'll quickly be able to like address it. But for the healers, it seems it's coming across as like emotional blocks in the heart or traumas or things like that that need to be addressed in order for them to shift to whatever the next stage is for them, wherever they are. Because elevated beneficial ancestors can be in any stage, right? So that's more emotional in nature. To be clear, this doesn't mean that you have to process emotion with them. But you can help, again, bring things to light and pray for them as they do that work of facing whatever that is. That's for them to do. For the transformers, you have the magician. I'm specifically not speaking out loud for much of what I'm thinking because I don't want folks to start going off on tangents on these topics. So that's why I'm silent when I'm getting these clarifying cards. So there are specifically some heavier, I won't say heavier, there is stronger malevolent interference in your ancestry, meaning folks who don't act right, and who are like intentionally interfering rather than the folks who are just like neutral and just go along and get along. The tactics that they're using are going to be different depending on the group. So But whatever it is that they're doing, it is something that is hindering the good ones energetically. So this is a situation where it's less about them doing like self-reflective work to strengthen, and more about asking for support, essentially from the Holy Spirit, to strengthen them energetically, and they can be resourced in that way. What's unknown and that's available to be known is the Nine of Wands. Immediately what's coming through, this is where the bulk of the work and a lot of the conflict is showing up is in the ancestral realm, which, yes, I know it's why I harp on like ancestral work. It is not a one and done thing. There are, please understand, like when we talk about ancestry, we are talking hundreds of thousands of people. It's a lot of people, y'all. Mom side and dad side, this is lifetime work. But when we talk about building strength and numbers and energetic power, can you imagine how things would shift if more of the folks in your ancestry were luminescent with the light of heaven within them? Do you know how much stuff would just be broken off your family because they'd be able to shut shit down? By those who are wreaking havoc in the family, whether in the spirit or in the physical, real talk. Do you know how much inter-group, inter-ancestral stuff would get shut down? Like, do y'all understand? Especially for Black folks in the diaspora, whose family has been in the diaspora for several generations, not new folks specifically. Diaspora folks. There's a lot of branches that are mixed in your bloodline, even outside of the African ones, because there's already a mix there, right? But also have a mix of so many, like, please understand how important this work is. And that's why I say, again, like, no, yes, interkingdoms, yes, other planetary stuff and beyond. But none of that is going to be the answer or the rescue for the mess within our own house. We have to save ourselves. Folks can help with consent, but they cannot stand in the gap. This is where the bulk of the work is happening. Astral, fifth dimension, some sixth and some seventh. Okay, questions before I move on to our personal guardian angels. Everybody has personal guardian angels and protectors. Even if it's one, everybody has. Who are personal guardian angels and protectors? Angels are human souls who may or may not have incarnated and may or may not be ancestral. Usually they're not part of the ancestral family. Usually, 99% of the time, they're not. They might be in a larger like environmental group family, regional group, right? And yeah, you may also have like nature kingdom folks who are acting as protectors for sure, right? Wolf companion, other companions, yeah. They may also be there, again, depending on you, your culture, your soul. So that's why I say guardian angels and protectors. But he has at least guardian angel. or at least guardian protector if for some reason your guardian angel got taken out. But I don't think that's the case for most people, unless you're really dealing with some serious warfare. I don't wish that on nobody. I hope nobody's guardian angel has been taken out. Also, you can't obviously have like more than one guardian angels, but I'm just saying, like, at a bare minimum. if you've ever had like divine intervention because of like maybe like some danger that you were in or you felt, and it wasn't like an ancestor, right? For the strengthening personal fields and or chakras, is that for the next 6 or more, or for that's just for everyone? I'm glad you've asked. This is long-term war. I know that I was referencing just the presidential election here in the US. But for international folks, you know, and I know that the rise of right-wing fascism, et cetera, is happening across the board. In some very key places. This is not a short-term fix things. When I was talking about here specifically in the US, how, thank you, you mentioned the beginning for the next few decades, yes. How I was talking about how we really lost a big campaign here, a long-term campaign. I meant that. I mentioned on when I on IG, again, check that post, how we've been having tests basically since the early 2000s. And the dark enemy opposer, right, has been obviously successfully organizing and shifting things and getting us to this point. And us in the light or on the left, comparatively, have not obviously been able to do the same successfully. That's been decades-long work. This is not a new moon message. This is not an eclipse message. This is not a North Node message. I'm talking war strategy generationally. Because at least in this country, I'm not speaking for others, but you, depending on where you are, you know what's up. We have entered into, and will officially, once the inauguration happens, a fascist state. That is not hyperbole. We just lost a big battle in the spirit. We did also just have a big win. Don't want to, disavow that. We did just have a big win, but that was primarily off world in partnership with folks here. So I'm talking about this regroup and these strategies. This isn't a touch in for a bit and touch out and we can bounce back. No. The strengthening of ourselves, our souls energetically through seventh dimension as a collective. If you go beyond that, that's fine. The goal is collectively seventh dimension for our individual souls, getting numbers up of beneficial ancestry who have their wings both groups, us as well as them, showing up the way they need to in their roles and their positions, regardless of dimension or where we serve in the spirit, whether that is caring for souls who are coming into incarnation, supporting folks in the astral, whatever it is, protective work, if you're on that side, folks need to show up and do their job and not be jealous and envious of what other people are doing when they're not even being a good steward of what they're supposed to be doing. Again, us and ancestry, because I already talked about it in that previous Oracle Talks, okay? Angels who do that work of specifically protection, because angels don't just do that, they also help us. Because again, angels are us, y'all. this disassociation with angel and us like really needs to be addressed another day, but it's us. It's just folks who haven't necessarily incarnated per se. Some have, but for the ones who just work heaven and do the heavenly work, they haven't come down, like their work is there. Them doing what they're supposed to be doing, them working under their supervisor, supervisors doing what they're supposed to be doing, like all of that has to be happening. This is nation building work. And what we've been doing predominantly is self-preservation work. We've been taking hits, healing, being in our feelings, and not going on the offensive collectively. We like it to hype up and get ourselves hype about how Haitian folks leaned on both physical knowledge, power, economics, numbers, etc., as well as spiritual to gain their independence. And here we are, however many decades later since that happened. And here we are. I'll reference this in the physical. for here in the US, Tulsa, back in the day, Black Wall Street got burned to the ground. Collective consciousness of the people, of our people, have not been able to recover since. And there's more of us now. We have more political power. We have more social power. We have more physical power. And here we are. I don't say these things to be like, oh, blame, blame, blame. I say these things to say our approach, the way we've been going about things, needs to shift. We need to think differently and show up differently. Or if we already feel like we're showing up the way we need to, which is fine, I'm not even saying you need to change, we definitely need to be consistent. Something is not working in the process on the physical. Something's also not working in the physical, in the spirit as well. And what I'm saying is we are not focused on winning a war. We're focused on winning battles. Like how I mentioned before, why did the Montgomery bus boycott stop after a year? Well, it's because they were able to get that shift in legislation. Right, that should have kept going though. You get what I'm saying? So no, this isn't for the next couple of new moons. It's not for the next couple of new months. This is for the next stage of this war. And for here in this country, as well as potentially with the rest of the world, especially given how some of these elections have already gone for those prime ministers and presidents and who have you, is going to be another couple of decades because we have swung too far to the right collectively. Now, the economic side of things will be able to provide some destabilization to leverage the regaining of political and possibly the regaining of physical power. Excuse me, but that's the option right now that we're left with, which is why I said this isn't going to be black versus white or basically minority or marginalized community versus the dominant culture. It's going to be a class specific one. That's actually what they're going to be fussing and fighting over. That's really what's going to happen, and it's already been showing up with the worker strikes. But please don't mistake me saying that and being happy about seeing that as meaning that's what's going to get us free. Because I know, and you know, that the folks who are in leadership, more often than not all, but more often than not, especially for the larger groups, are still white, are still male, are independent, moderate Republican. And the intersectional analysis and self-awareness is not a part of the work that they've done. And I'm really going to need folks to understand the opportunity that's going to be opened up by the infighting. Okay? And leverage that and use it to your benefit. Y'all hearing me? Send this to your faves if you need to. This is like, I, strategy, decades long strategy, not next piece of legislation, not midterm election. Like it, I mean, midterm elections too, but you get it? Okay. So longer term message. Because now we're collectively at a disadvantage. We are not under resourced though. Moving on. As it relates to strengthening our guardian angels and protectors. For way showers, Two of Pentacles. Okay, so they need to, and you can help them with this process. They need to be clear about and be working under whoever their appropriate direct supervisor is for them. And I say that to say it's like, again, we are not out here just doing what we want to do. Where we are submitted, we are doing collective work. So, you know, guardian angel may be working under the supervision of an ascended master, right? Basically, whoever their direct report is, they need to be brought, or they need to have clarity about that. If there's not clarity, because if this is coming out, it is not clear. Or if it is clear, a purposeful strengthening of that relationship, which literally could be just like every week you need to be checking in with them. Every week you need to be going in for energetic upgrades, whatever. But folks need to know who their direct report is. Could be an archangel, but folks need to know who their direct report is. They need to know, they should be aware of, and should be actively using and engaging with that resource. Okay. For healers, with your guardian angels and protectors, Princess of Wands. Almost done, y'all. Oh, side note, I forgot to mention, I did actually put up a new prayer for those who might not have been on my newsletter list and saw. I have a new prayer up for releasing contracts on the blog page of my website. So if you have not seen that, I encourage you to utilize that, and utilize that in combination with the prayer for protection of the souls of humanity, which is also on the blog page. And like I said, probably, well, I won't put a time on it, but I will be also creating some other new prayers around magic stuff. I just don't know when those will be dropping, but those will be dropping soon-ish. Okay, so for the healer group first, with the strength of your guardian angels and protectors, there is essentially upgrades that are available for them. That can come through a variety of ways depending on the situation. So it could be, again, similar to what I had told the way showers about connecting with their direct supervisor. Maybe doing some restorative work because maybe they've been actually doing a lot of work and they need to kind of recharge and like have a little mini vacation, like, you know, just check in and see. So that's one thing. Another thing could be where they actually need like an energy activation. So that energetically need to, there's something that's available for them to shift into a next stage for themselves. Again, it's from the pen, check in and see if that's available, the Holy Spirit. Another option could be that there is available tools for them to use, maybe weapons, armor, something for defense or offense available for them. Again, check in with the Holy Spirit and see, check in with them and see. Check in with the supervisor, with their supervisor as well and see. Okay. So that's that group. And then for the Transformers, welcome to folks coming in here on IG and also YouTube. I see more people coming in. 10 of Wands. Okay, for y'all, for your group needs a break. So ask the Holy Spirit and the archangels for a substitute team to take over that role for a little bit and give your team a break, maybe a week, 7 days, 10 days, so that they can recharge because they've been working a lot. And given what was already coming through as it relates to work that you need to do and work that ancestors need to do, there's a lot of depletion and warfare there. So they've been doing a lot of work. They need the ability to be restored and to have a break. So give them a vacation, but talk with the Holy Spirit, archangels, etc., to have a temporary new team brought in for, again, those couple days or what have you. I'm thinking more so 10 days, honestly, with this, so they can recharge and come back refreshed and with the energy activations that they need. But it's definitely like they need a rest because they're strong, but they need to be able to recover. It can't just be output, 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 just like it can't be output, output, output for us. Okay. There needs to be a time for space and receiving a dispensation. There has to be time of communing with spirit, just like we do. They need time and space to come home to God, source, creator, their heart. This is hard work, everybody. And showing up in this way for us is out of deep love. Okay? So give your loved one and loved ones a break. Let them recharge. Let them come back bigger, brighter, better. Same holds true for them, like I said, for the ancestors, guardian angels and protectors, both angel and maybe nature kingdom companions. also should be upgrading. Okay, so just like I said, that luminescence, that vibration, that should be happening with them too. If your team has not, if you have not like supported their elevation and evolution or required that of them, please do so. Okay. There's no point of you upgrading, getting your angel wings, and everybody on your team is like trying to fight things that they're energetically not prepared for or equipped to handle. Your responsibility is not just to yourself, it's to also everyone. That is not, responsibility is not you do their work for them, but just how I'm have a conversation with you about like, oh, this is actually what's happening and this is the strategy moving forward. That's how you co-create. Okay, it's not you need to go in and send them healing. Like, no, there is already infrastructure in heaven. There's already infrastructure in the realms. Nobody's asking you to do all that. You can bring to light, you can bring to conscious awareness, you can pray for this, the Holy Spirit, etc., folks to support them in doing that. Don't step out of your lane. Don't overextend. I'm speaking in the spirit and in the physical. Okay? There's no need to be doing all that. You're the one who's incarnate. You're the one that needs the extra help. Okay. Okay. What's unknown but available to be known for everybody as it relates to the guardian angels and protectors is the Four of Cups. That very much has been like there's a lot that is available in terms of like energy dispensation from the Holy Spirit for our guardian angels and protectors. Like that's another. But what's it called? One moment. Oh, welcome, folks coming in. We're actually going to be closing up now, or shortly. Okay, wasn't expecting that message. So guardian angels and protectors. There are kind of like in for that work, like a personal retinue, but it's, let me just show the card. So the Wheel of Fortune card here, this 4 energy specifically is coming through, and it's what it's speaking to me about is the that there is a 4 energy, if you will, or at least 4 guardian angels and protectors that are to be in place. Okay, so you may only have been aware of maybe just the guardian angel. And yeah, I'm talking about personal incarnation. This is not necessarily the case for guardians and protectors of a particular role or position. Okay, so personal incarnation stuff. Is for people. Okay. Which may or may not be a combination of one angel, i.e. angelic human soul, and 3 others, angelic or protector energy of nature kingdoms. I don't know what the combination is. I don't really care to like get specific in that because it doesn't matter. I think it's going to be unique to you as an individual soul. Okay. But yeah, you have this group of 4. Okay. That feels like it's actually new information for everyone, because I feel like, or at least the sense I get, when it comes to like these personal companions in this regard, that it's usually a sense of like 1 or 2. Or maybe only 1. I see heart, so I feel like that, so that's telling me that's resonating. Okay. But it is 4. So that is what is unknown and available to be known for everybody as it relates to guardian angels and protectors. There actually are 4. What that combination is going to be, it definitely will be at least 1 angel. It definitely will be at least 1 kind of like animal. When I say nature kingdom, I do basically everything but human is what I put under nature kingdom. Technically, we are nature kingdom because we're not separate from nature, but for ease, right? Everything that is not human, that is earth-based, I just put under nature kingdom as an FYI. So please keep your minds open to that. Okay. But everything is all earth-based because we're dealing with human soul stuff. It's earth-based. Okay, this is not star race. Earth. So yeah. So at least 1 that's going to look more, that's human, angel, at least 1 that is going to be something of nature kingdom. Okay. It could be only 1 angel and the other 3 is all the nature kingdom. It could be just 1 nature kingdom and the other 3 angel. Any combination in between. It's not going to be all angel. It's not going to be all nature kingdom. So both are going to be represented. Whatever that combination is going to be will show up to you over time. More likely than not, If you've been able to see and be clear about at least the one angel, probably what's going to come into awareness next is going to be nature kingdom. If you've only been dealing with one, or vice versa, okay? If you've been dealing with two, you probably have one of each that is clear. The other two positions you will see. Since it has been made known now, it is no longer mystery. Expect one or both, or three, depending on your situation, to start showing up over time. Just because I brought it to attention now does not mean they're going to show up tomorrow. Okay. So, long-term strategies. But regardless of when they show up, even if they do all show up tomorrow, this work of strengthening, elevation, who is your supervisor that you are to be answering to, holds the same. Nobody is out here acting independently. So if you got wolf companion, who is your supervisor? What name can I call you by? What name can I call them by? And to be clear, everyone is submitted to and working towards the ascension, protection, and the ascension of the souls of humanity in the nature kingdoms and the laws of heaven. We're not serving any other interests. We work for the light. We are bound by the law of consent, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, we are not going to be perpetuating fascism, and parasitic behavior and non-consensual behavior in the light. I felt mostly ancestral nature kingdom, but when I listen to your readings, this is when angels feel near. Thank you for sharing. Okay, those are the messages. I know the energy today is intense. It's a different kind of intense compared to last time. That was like a lot of fire. This was like mountain energy being dropped on folks. This feels like strong Uriel energy. Not to implicate Uriel, because Uriel doesn't have anything to do with this, but this is the difference in the quality it feels for me relaying the info. But the earth energy makes sense because, again, this is not a like, oh, we're going to dip in and dip out. It's no. The situation is actually quite serious. These are the stakes. We are well resourced. We had a great victory recently, and the momentum can continue. And these are specific, practical tools that everyone has access to that they can do. And it doesn't require any hoop jumping. It doesn't require any special prayers. It doesn't require any special rituals. No, none of that. From your mouth to their ears. And when you don't know, ask the Holy Spirit. But everyone here and everyone watching on the recording, you have the resources. Do not weaponize incompetence over here in this space. There is a lot that is available for you free, whether from me or from other people, that has been dropping free or low cost for years. At some point, you have to stop making excuses and just do work. This is plenty. If you are called and are doing more than that, great. Please don't think that doing more, the calling for anything extra, is more valuable and important. It is not. This experience should tell you it is not. Penetrating light into dark spaces at the intersection of our lives, of our families, is what shifts things. That is individual and interdependent and collective work. And that's where we are weak. That is where we are not leveraging our power. And this is important. I'll say this and then we're going to go. The thing is about the strategies and the tactics of the dark is more often than not indirect attack. And you know this if you take a step back and look at things for yourself in your own life as well as collectively. Yes, there are direct attacks that come up. Yes, somebody can like be trying to throw a hex and spell at you and like all that. Yes, there are direct attacks, but comparatively, most of what we deal with, both in the physical and in the spirit, is indirect stuff. It's suppression. It's a diverting of resources. It's distraction. That destabilizes us and moves us out of position, that has us giving away our power, that has us not showing up. It's most of it is not direct, y'all. And the other side of that, when direct attacks do happen, which are brutal in the physical, I already mentioned Tulsa. We already had we know what the brutality looks like. The tactics that pervade are purely and solely self-preservation and not bounce back. You hearing me? So collectively, I can't even have a bounce back conversation right now because you know, like I said, like the predominant thing is the defensive side of things. The offense is in there. It's kind of in there, but the bulk of this conversation is getting strong. So that there's some bounce back that can actually be leveraged. And economic stress, relationship stress, physical health stress, all of those things distract us. I'm not saying they're not real. Conflict is conflict, a fight is a fight. But they distract us so that when actual attack happens, we get knocked down and just go into self-preservation mode and don't bounce back. Don't bust back, right? But again, we are well resourced. None of what was coming through is actually hard. If we're going to be honest, none of what I talked about is hard. It is available and accessible to everyone. I ask that you do your work for yourself, for your family, which is where the bulk of, you saw that Nine of Wands already, okay? And your guardian angels and protectors, and understand that is the most important work that you can be doing. And of course, if you got called to something else, you need to be showing up fully there too. And you have capacity to do both. And one doesn't trump the other. And when you start feeling tired, check yourself and ask yourself why you are weaponizing incompetence, because you know you need to be taking care of yourself. You know you need to be scheduling in time to restore. You know you need to be keeping your, stop. Stop acting like you don't know. You know you are clear. You know you are strong, you're powerful. When it starts to go wonky, you know first and foremost, you need to check spirit. Get yourself right in the spirit energetically. Make sure to handle anything that's going off there, because you know how to handle shit. You know what you're doing, which is why you're still here. Okay? I love y'all. I do. It is 12 here. I need to go. this is my cutoff. I was trying to only be here for an hour, but serious conversation. Because definitely here in the US, as well as other places, obviously, it's going to continue being tough. The stress is going to continue being there. The foolishness is going to continue to flare up in the media. Please understand that is indirect tactic warfare. Doesn't mean it's not important or what have you. But if it's enough to get you to stop checking in on a regular basis, to shore up your energy field, your chakras, to be supporting the elevation and strengthening of your ancestors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We are the ones. Everyone who is incarnating is the ones, as well as those in the spirit who are helping. This is a collective effort. Please receive the help. If you are overextending, check yourself about why you're overextending. Okay, what is there for you to do? You have capacity to do. Everything else can actually be handled by others, because others are going to step up and do what they're supposed to be doing, aren't we? We can do this together. I believe in us, which is why I'm here, sharing this info, giving you tactics and tools. Okay. I'm assuming I will be here on next Thursday for another Oracle Talks. I don't know what the topic will be. I believe we will be at the full moon coming up. So that's the plan, unless something comes up and I, for whatever reason, I'm not available, or if there's not a message that needs to come through. But yeah, unless plans change, I will be here on Thursday. All right, so that's it. Watch the recording. I'm not going to have time this weekend to update timestamps and stuff like that. If you want to put them on YouTube in the comments, that would be helpful, because then I can just, when I do go in next week and update the description, I'll be able to do so. But in the meantime, get the prayers that you need on the blog page of my website. There are new ones there specifically for releasing contracts. In particular, those of you who are in that transformer group of light workers, both for yourself and for your ancestors, that may be a beautiful thing to utilize. That is a free tool you can use, okay? And you keep using that prayer and working with that and adapting as needed as the Holy Spirit guides you, until you feel that shift of whatever it is being broken off. Okay, don't be like, oh, I'll do this prayer and it's gonna be done. If you have to do this for weeks or a few months ahead, in what way is that a burden that you can't do that? I don't understand. Like, y'all. Okay, for that prayer for the souls of humanity, we have about 1 more month left with that. So continue to do that both for yourself as well as for the collective. Basically, when we get to full moon in December, which I believe is on the 15th, you don't have to like do that. I don't have to anyway, but in terms of that daily recitation of that prayer, that process will be done. And that is speaking to, especially for the way showers, the clearing out of any of that residual energy in the fields that is there. That prayer will help with that. And then beyond that time, if you want to obviously use it, you can, but that's for that, okay? So I don't see anything else popping up in terms of questions, comments, concerns, etc. So I'm guessing folks are fine. If anything does come up, just write it in the comments. You know, I show up and provide you with any answers or resources that are needed. If you have any intel about things that you come across in dream time, or that, you know, you get a heads up about regarding whatever with, you know, ancestors, stuff happening in the astral, nature kingdoms, whatever, doesn't matter. Send me a message on the contact page of the website. I will relay that info to the Lightworker Incubator alumni group, and we'll dig into that, see what's going on, and if called to do so, do work around that and handle things as a group, because that's what that is for. Okay. All right, and I believe that's it. And if you are Incubator alumni and you want to be a part of the group, you can do so by going to the group program page on the website. I have the link for the alumni group on there, so you can read about it and sign up for it, okay? It's only $50 a month, so it's, compared to how things cost over here, it's reasonably priced for accessibility. Okay, cool, we're done. All right, love y'all. Please share this. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you're not already. Follow, what have you. And God willing, I will see you next time. Bye.